Hi guys, it is Martina with Expressions. How is everyone today? Come on in, come on in. We are going to have an amazing chat today. We're going to be talking to Jordan Mittler of Mittler Senior Tech. He's going to be joining us just in a moment here. Logging Jordan in. I am Martina, again with Expressions. Come on in, and we are connecting with. Hi, Jordan.
Hi.
How's it going?
Hi. Good. Yeah, everything's great. Thank you for having
Oh,
me.
oh, you are so welcome. So excited for you to join us today. We're both rocking some bright neon colors. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
We
it's
do.
my shirt.
Oh, I love it. Oh,
Yeah.
that is so cool. Yeah, you have some really great colors there. Very vibrant. Love it. Love it. Yes. Well, we're going to get started here. So let me just give an overview to everyone who is joining in. So I am, again, Martina Smith with the Expressions Challenge. And we have with us one of the coolest young teen entrepreneurs out of New York, Jordan Mittler of Mittler Senior Tech. Jordan has been doing some phenomenal work where he has been providing services to seniors on educating them on how to utilize various technology. And so I'm going to actually turn it over to Jordan so he can tell us a little bit about himself. If you want to share what high school you go to in New York, feel free, what grade you're in, all that good stuff, because I think you've got a good story.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jordan Mittler. I am currently a 10th grader at the Ramas Upper School in Manhattan. And I've always had a passion for technology, and that's kind of where everything started.
That is so cool. Now, your passion for technology rather, and just kind of thinking about getting started as an entrepreneur, what was your inspiration? Do you have family members, like your parents? Are they business owners? Or, tell us a little bit about that. How did you get started?
Um, so, um, a few years ago, my family got my grandparents smartphones because we thought it was time for them to move over from the flip phone era. Um, and we were so excited that they'll be able to message us and FaceTime us. It was going to be so cool. But they really did not know how to use the phone. And then it's really no help that they have it. So I sat with them and I showed them how to send messages, how to send emails, how to search the internet, really do simple things that we find so easy. But they just didn't know how to do these simple things. So I sat with them. It took obviously a decent amount of time.
Right.
And once they were all set, I realized that there's probably a bigger audience in the senior population that needs this kind of one-on-one technology education.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think it's a great business. We can all relate of whether it's parents or grandparents who are like, how do I send a text message?
Yeah.
Or what is FaceTime? And how do we FaceTime? What do we do? And I mean, even now, so more than ever before with COVID and being in quarantine, I think everyone is trying to, find a way to engage and stay connected. And so certainly like technology is that avenue these days. And so kind of with that, can you take a little deeper dive because you took it from just like your grandparents and from what we understand, you're now working with a broad base of seniors. It looks like you're going to kind of senior homes and things like that. So can you tell us a little bit about where, maybe even before COVID, where you're helping seniors and such?
So this whole operation started about 4 years ago when I started working just a one-on-one session with a woman. Her name was Bonnie in a nursing home that was very close to my house, and I sat with her once a week. And I taught her the basics of computers and phones, and it was really fun for me, and she really enjoyed it. And I realized that the impact I'm making on one person can be expanded to so many more seniors. So I reached out to my synagogue, which is affiliated with my school, and they have a very large senior population. So I thought that was a good place to kind of start getting people's attention about this.
Mhm.
And they sent out a letter, a printed letter, to all members that were about 65 years and up, asking if there was an interest in a program like this. And there was a huge response. And a lot of people said, yeah, we've been waiting for a program like this. This is amazing. And about 2 weeks later, I started holding in-person classes, and I've been doing it since then, every Sunday for 1 hour. I keep getting more and more seniors who keep joining my class. I restricted my class to a 10-week kind of curriculum that cycles over and over again, so that I have new seniors that can join the class. So I accept about 20 seniors per class, and then get a new group every 10 weeks. And obviously that all changed a few
With
weeks ago.
COVID. Of course.
Right.
No, that's very impressive. I love that. Well, here are a few things. So I know I sent you some questions, but I'm going to digress a little bit because you just said some really interesting pieces. One, I like the fact that you've structured it. So I definitely in a second want you to talk about that, because I think that that's very cool. You mentioned you created a structure where you are doing 10-week programs to educate seniors. So then you've put together a curriculum, you also said. So like, what does that look like? And then you've also identified that you're going to only speak to a smaller group, maybe up to 20. So it sounds like you can kind of have a little bit of control there.
Right.
So tell us about how how did you decide, okay, I need to put together a curriculum? And then what does your curriculum look like? That's cool.
Right. So when I started this, I knew I wanted the class to kind of cover both computers and smartphones, because seniors, use both of them, and I wanted to kind of put them together. So every class I spend about 40 minutes on the computers and then switch over to smartphones for the last 20 minutes. And the way I structured my curriculum is it covers pretty much all the basics, from internet to email, to using Microsoft Word, accessing common websites like Amazon and YouTube, and shopping online. And then for those last 20 minutes, I spend each class on a different app, whether it's Photos one week, or Mail the other week, Contacts, the Calendar app. So that's kind of how I structure the class. And I spend like about 15 minutes standing at the front of the classroom, like showing them something on the screen, and then I'll have them go do it or try it out themselves. Like, for example, if I show them how to send an email, I'll show them how to do it on the board, and then I'll go say, now you all send me an email. And as that happens, I'll kind of walk around the classroom and help them with that individual help. And that's one of the reasons why I like to keep the number of students in the classroom to 20 because I like to give the seniors the attention that they actually need. And sometimes when they have personal questions, it's very hard to answer when there's a big classroom. But having like a nice group of 20, I think, allows me to spend time teaching and also answering their questions.
Wow. That is phenomenal. I love that. You're super, smart and savvy. I think that that's phenomenal that you've put that level of structure and professionalism towards your organization. And I think that is very beneficial, it sounds like, to seniors. I can only imagine that you probably have not only seniors trying to beat down your door to get in your class. I can imagine you have, people who are not seniors who are like, I want to get in on Jordan's class, So I can only imagine. I think that's phenomenal. Now, tell us a little bit about business structure, because, you being a teen, did you have to get your business incorporated, or did you do nonprofit? Like, can you speak a little bit about that?
So the room that I'm using to teach the classes in is the computer room of my school.
Okay.
So I don't have to pay rent, and there are computers there. So that also I don't have to pay for. So the classes up until now are 100% free. I don't charge anything for the classes.
Wow.
Seniors are emailing me now. Since I'm doing them virtually, I have people emailing me who aren't even in the New York region. Could we join the classes? And now I'm taking advantage of that because it's not in person.
Yes, I love it. So talk a little bit about that. So you were originally in your school, you partnered with your synagogue first, you identified an opportunity to leverage the technology center at your school to actually execute these classes. Now, because of COVID, you've had to move these classes online. So how has that transition been working online? And then what are some of like your learned lessons as you're moving forward working with seniors online?
When I was told that I had to cancel all in-person classes, I was kind of confused. I didn't really know what to do at first because a lot of the seniors that I work with are either retired or live alone and really rely and depend on this class to have something to look forward to every week, something that they enjoy doing every week. And I couldn't really just kind of abandon the class, even though we couldn't have in-person classes. So it took me about a week to get all the seniors set up and hooked up on Zoom. That took a very long time. I had to make a lot of phone calls and send out a lot of lists of instructions because I wasn't with them, and I had to kind of show them how to process and download Zoom without me actually being there. So that whole process took about a week for me to get them all set up on Zoom. And then since then, I've been continuing my Sunday classes on Zoom. It's obviously a little more difficult because there's like feedback issues sometimes, and it's kind of hard to ask questions when there's so many people on the Zoom. Although it has been a little bit difficult, there are also some nice features in Zoom. For example, I could record the class and share that link afterwards if the seniors like missed a segment or want to rewatch a piece of the class.
Right, and I imagine too, you probably had to teach them how to do Zoom, right?
Right. Yeah.
What was that like? I mean, because you were in the middle of teaching them in person how to utilize technology, and then you're saying, okay, well, now we're all remote, so you have to quickly learn more technology and how to log on online. So was that a pretty easy transition?
I started off by sending out like via text message, like a list of instructions, like click on download, then sign in with your email, all that. And for some of the seniors that worked, but for some of them it needed individual phone calls or personal conversations so that I could really walk them step by step to download Zoom. Some of them FaceTime me and like showed their computer screen so that I could say, click here, click there. That was a long process, but most of my seniors are now set up on Zoom.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, now let's talk about from a business perspective. What have been like some of your greatest challenges that you've had to overcome, whether as a teen entrepreneur, establishing a business, or just kind of navigating running a business?
People in our generation were born into technology. We know how to use phones like naturally. That's not something that we actually have to be taught. Seniors miss this whole technology boom and don't really know how to do these things naturally. They need that kind of step-by-step directions. So obviously, this whole project takes a lot of patience, and you really have to go slow with them. But once the seniors really understand the topic, then they know how to do it and they can do it over and over again. But to get to that point, it really takes a long process, and it's very long and slow, so that they really understand every single step. Also, regarding the business perspective, I had to do a lot of changing since pre and during the coronavirus, especially because I'm so used to being there and showing them visually how to do things, walking up to them and like holding up my phone and all that. And that's a big part of my class is actually being there and showing them things. So it was very difficult for me to switch over to Zoom. But I think something I learned over this is that you have to be open to change. And that things happen, and that you have to work your way through it until you can match or somewhat match what you've been doing before.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Being agile and being adaptable overarchingly to a changing, at this point, changing time and ways of doing business. So it sounds like you're doing phenomenal at that, and a huge like congratulations and literal applause. Because in the midst of this, right, you're also juggling school. You say you're a sophomore. So how do you juggle being an entrepreneur with a fast growing in demand business and school life? How do you do that?
So when I first organized my curriculum, I did that over the summer. And once I had it kind of stable, I was able to just run the classes on Sunday and not do so much prep work before then because I already had the lessons all lined up. I still send messages out to the seniors during the week, and I also, reach out to them even when we're not in the classroom. But once Corona happened, I decided to adjust the curriculum a little bit so that I focus on topics that are specifically relevant now, like FaceTime and accessing the news. things like that.
That makes sense.
So, right. So I had to kind of adjust to things that I felt were specifically relevant now. And it's really the responsibility of our generation to step up and show seniors how to communicate in manners that we do today.
Most definitely. No, I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think that we do have to take the lead. As I mentioned, I've been helping my mom and my grandma and just family overarchingly, like set up Zoom calls, or well, how do we get people? How do I show my screen? How do I see everyone in Zoom? I've been kind of that one to help the family with that. So I understand that level of patience as well as diligence to be able to put those components together. I think that's phenomenal. What about, so tell me a little bit more about kind of like, you talked about structure, you talked about being in high school and kind of juggling that. What about advice? So any other teens who are looking to go into business for themselves, what advice do you give them for, how to set up a business and what they should do?
So I think that if you see a problem, there's always a solution to that problem. And even if it's not the biggest thing or something that could become as successful as one of the huge companies, there's always a small difference that you can make. I started with just one senior, and now I'm at 20 and 30 and 40, and I just continue to expand. But starting with something little really makes a difference. Like just calling your grandparents one day and showing them how to send a message. It takes 5, 10, 15 minutes. It's very quick. But the difference that it makes is just unbelievable. So even doing something so small like that can really change someone's life. So I think for other teens my age, just especially now that we're all at home and we don't have that much going on. Obviously we have school, but there is some more free time that we could spend just a little bit of time, maybe every day, every week, contributing to society, whether it's doing some sort of community service. There's so much going on Zoom right now, programs going on every single day. But just making a phone call to someone who needs it is just really it changes the lives of people.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that that's a big deal. I've noticed too, similarly, just being able to pick up the phone and say hello, or someone you haven't talked to in a long time, whether it's an older relative or just a friend, this is that time where we can reach out, reconnect with people for sure. And then we'll be wrapping up shortly. But last question, one of the last questions I have for you is, what about communication tools? So you said that you reach out and engage your students, your senior students, about once a week. So are you utilizing any sort of like email marketing tools? Are you utilizing social media? What are some of like those platforms that you use for marketing and communication to keep in touch?
So since I started this, I got a Instagram account. I have a website, which has information about all the classes and the Zoom links and all that in one location. And I also have a WhatsApp chat that I send updates like a class is canceled today, or we have class tomorrow, or anything relating to that. And I add seniors as they email me that they're interested or something like that. And right now I think I have about 45 seniors in that WhatsApp chat.
Wow.
And I really send them messages throughout the week, letting them know about information regarding the classes. If there's a certain handout I want them to print before the class, or if there's a certain homework, something I want them to do, like send me a message, send me a picture, anything relating to that. So I communicate to my class through WhatsApp, and they also have access to the Instagram and also the website.
That is very cool. I love that. And then do you have any website recommendations? Like, I'm just thinking about, again, if there are other teens out here who are interested in starting their business, there are so many DIY website platforms, whether WordPress, Squarespace, there are others. So which one do you use and what do you prefer and what do you recommend?
So the website that I use is done using WordPress.
Okay.
And I think it's about $10 to get a domain, so it's not that expensive once you have your own domain, and it's very easy to manage the website. You just click on add text, or you could add an image. It is not that hard to use, and also Wix and Simple Site. There are a bunch of other ones that basically all you have to do is type in your information and it will do everything for you. It's really not that hard. It did not take me that long. So for other teens, just opening one of these website browsers, going online, searching up, creating a website, I'm sure a lot of things will come up, and it's not that hard.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much. That is really great advice because yeah, whether it's someone creating a business or someone, trying to become an influencer, you're still developing a business overall. So, I think that that is very important to kind of get that feedback on website best practices. And last question before we wrap up is what about branding, your personal branding? An image and kind of maintaining that in association to being a business owner. What have you learned that's important about that, and what tips could you share there?
So I have been trying ever since I started this to expand, because really the hardest part for me was making sure that all the seniors know about this. Meaning there's some seniors who might be wanting a program like this, but just don't know where to go or where it's taking place. So I've been trying through Instagram and on my website to advertise as much as I can. I'm trying to get involved and being written about in different places, in newspapers and articles, so that people in New York and around the country hear about what I'm doing, and especially now since it's on Zoom, can access the class from really anywhere.
Yeah, it'll be a remote learning environment. That's awesome. Well, as we wrap up, I really appreciate your time today. This has been very insightful. I do believe the people who have joined today, thank you so much, have learned so much from you about being a business owner, the inspiration behind it, and just the work and ethic that it takes to maintain and start to grow a business. And you are a great example of that, Jordan.
Thank you.
So you are very welcome. You are very welcome. And to that end, tell people how they can learn more about your organization.
So my website is mittlerseniortech.com, and the Instagram I'm on right now is Mittler Senior Tech. And on that website, there's kind of a short bio about all the classes that are being offered now during the coronavirus pandemic. And
Jordan froze for just a quick
sorry,
second.
am I back?
He's back. Boop. There you go. Keep going. You
Sorry.
can restate whatever
Sorry.
you need. You were at Corona pandemic, but restate what you were saying.
Yeah, so my website is mittlerseniortech.com, and the Instagram is at Mittler Senior Tech. And you could also email me through the Instagram if anyone's really interested in a program like this, or have maybe their grandparents or their parents might benefit from classes like this. Feel free to reach out to me. They are all 100% free. And there's no registration required. If I get an email from someone, I will just send them the Zoom link, and they'll be able to join the class just by clicking on the link. There's not so much that they really have to do, and there's no registration or cost. So if you know anyone, or you yourself would like to join the class, please email me. My email is on my website and also in the Instagram. It's Jordan@mittlerseniortech.com.
Perfect. So Jordan at mittlerseniortech.com is Jordan's email address, as well as Mittler Senior Tech is Jordan's Instagram handle. And we are so proud of Jordan Mittler and glad to have had him on today. So if you guys want to keep in touch, want to get some of your seniors involved, make sure you follow